Good morning, radio listeners. This is 90.3 WMSC, Upper Montclair, New Jersey. In case you just woke up or just tuned in, welcome to the Morning Buzz Friday edition. Yes, it is Friday the 13th in 2020, and yes, I am just as concerned as the rest of you, but we will carry on nonetheless. It's going to be a great show. We got some fun stories going on for you today. I am joined by my wonderful co-host,
Leslie Gallagher.
and in our virtual studio, we also have
Kenny Horn.
Awesome. It's going to be a good show. George couldn't make it today. So he's had he couldn't make it. He's fighting ninjas off, in space or something. I don't know.
He's too cool for us, basically. He's growing up and getting over it.
Yeah, he's far too cool for us. So, we will press on nonetheless. Like I said, we're going to have a great show for you today. Today, we're going to be talking about some changes in New Jersey, Greta Thunberg's documentary, and exciting new music releases. I should be in school. I can't. I had to. I had to throw it. I had to throw in at least one.
I wasn't sure if you'd do it or not.
I had to. I literally can't help it. It is in my DNA. That said, we got Kenny Horn here. Kenny, tell us what's going on in the world.
All right. In international news this morning, a Filipino typhoon takes 39 lives. Typhoon Vamco forced over 350,000 Filipinos to evacuate somewhere to safety. This typhoon hit soon after the Typhoon Goni ravaged the country. Goni killed over 30 itself and is one of the strongest typhoons in the world this year. The Philippines are hit by roughly 20 typhoons and tropical storms each year. Along with volcanoes and seismic faults, this makes them one of the most dangerous countries to live in. In America this morning, it turns out this election is the most secure election in American history. A group of federal and state officials all say that there is no evidence that votes were altered or compromised. According to them, every state that had a tight outcome have paper records that can be physically recounted. This news comes after Trump's campaign filed multiple lawsuits over vote fraud. His cases were thrown out by judges because of the lack of evidence. In New Jersey, police are looking for a killer in the state's largest city. Thursday evening, the police found a man on Stratford Place lying dead from a gunshot wound. Newark is already known as one of the most dangerous places to live in the Garden State. There have already been over 70 murders in the city this year. While the police investigate the crime, there's been no other information reported by the Essex County Prosecutor's Homicide Task Force. In Montclair news, there's a change of power in the city. Residents that are part of the Community Aggregation Program will be temporarily getting their power from PSE&G. The Sustainable Essex Alliance was formed last year to get cleaner energy at lower prices. However, the contract expires in December. Residents are supposed to receive mail about the alliance if they want to be a part of it in January. And to brighten the mood this morning, history is made at the Ironman race. Chris Nikic is the first athlete with Down syndrome to successfully complete the 140-mile race. After Chris completed the race, he gave his medal to his mother, and the athlete hopes to inspire anyone else with Down syndrome that they are able to do anything. And for the weather, be ready for some morning rain. It's not cold enough for snow, but at 45 degrees, it definitely calls for a jacket. Along with that, there was a 93% humidity rate today. The sun rose this morning at 6:43 a.m., and it will set later today at 4:39 p.m.
Thank you, Kenny.
Thank you, Kenny.
Yeah.
And now it's time for Trent, your sports statement. What have you got for us today?
That's right. In sports, the New York Football Giants edged the Washington football team 23-20. The defense totaled 5 takeaways, and Daniel Jones had his second career game without a turnover. The Giants look like they're starting to click and take on the Eagles at home this Sunday at 1 p.m. A win against their division rival will keep them in the hunt for their first division title since 2011, when they went on to beat the Patriots in Super Bowl 46. Although their record is currently 2-7, their last 5 games have been within 3 points. New head coach Joe Judge has this team competing every week. The defense has totaled 15 takeaways this season and are tied for second most in the league in that stat. The Giants are also in the top 10 for sacks this season, a steep improvement from last year when they struggled to put pressure on opposing quarterbacks. Across town, the Jets were beating the New England Patriots on Monday Night Football and looking to get their first win of the season. That was until the fourth quarter, when they were shut out offensively and the Patriots scored 13 points to win the game 30-27. The Jets fall to 0-9 on the season, and although there is hope for Clemson quarterback Trevor Lawrence in the draft, many people don't see that coming to fruition. Hall of Fame Jets quarterback Joe Namath has said he could see Lawrence forcing a trade like Eli Manning did in 2004 when he was drafted by the San Diego Chargers and traded to Big Blue. Lawrence has stayed quiet on the draft hunt thus far and continues to focus on his junior season of ACC football, where he is in the talks for the Heisman Trophy. On the diamond, the vote is in, and longtime fan Steve Cohen is the new owner of the New York Mets. Cohen is looking to win and win now. He said, quote, "If we don't win a World Series in 3 to 5 years, I will be disappointed," end quote. The new owner, worth $14 billion, pulled the plug on the Mets' current front office, firing mostly everyone, including their GM. Entering free agency, the Mets look to help Cy Young finalist and two-time Cy Young winner Jacob deGrom by signing the 2020 National League Cy Young winner in Trevor Bauer. In addition, pitcher Marcus Stroman has accepted the Mets' qualifying offer and will be in the rotation for the 2021 season. The Mets are hunting for their first World Series since 1986. Mets fans, we are truly entering a new era of competitive baseball.
Thank you, Trent.
Go Giants. 2-7. Woo!
There you
We
go.
look good at 2-7, though.
Or the Jets.
Yeah.
Go sports.
Literally my
Leslie?
thoughts. I'm like, yay, sports.
This is why I like having George around, because normally
Yeah.
he has something to add.
Normally he does.
Normally, but alas,
Years.
I know that Cowboys are on what now? They're because my dad and I follow the Cowboys. What now? Their fourth string quarterback.
Yeah.
So right now, our two teams that we enjoy, the Cowboys and the Jets, neither of which are having a great season. I know that,
That's a
and
rough
that's
deal.
about it.
That's a rough deal for
NFC doesn't
2020.
do well in general. I mean, Jets are AFC, but still.
Yeah.
Listen, like I said, I don't know much about sports, but I know who to root for. I know the colors. I think probably we'll
Just
get
the
there.
colors. Nothing else.
Yeah, nothing else. That's
Not
all
even
I
the
need
team name.
is the color. I know the team name. I know what a field goal
I
is.
don't know the team names. Most
Oh.
of them I don't
How
know.
many points is a field goal worth?
1, 2.
Is it 3?
It's 3.
Yeah. And then the extra point,
Why
which
would it
is
be
like
one?
the same thing as a field goal, which makes no sense to me, is 1 point.
Well,
Yeah.
it's closer to the
Yeah,
you get
whatever.
I
Extra
just-
point after you score a touchdown. That's how it's
Whatever.
or you can go for 2.
Listen, we'll get there. We'll get there. When George comes back, I'll have him give me a lesson in what a football is.
What a football.
We'll get there. But before we get there, we got some news to cover, Leslie. New Jersey news, Leslie.
Yes, New Jersey news. Probably one of my favorite phrases because it sounds so funny.
It
New
does.
Jersey news. We've got 2 stories for you today. So first one, of course, it's about Corona. We'll never stop hearing about it or living in it. But anyways, after a second wave of COVID-19 surging throughout New Jersey, Governor Phil Murphy has decided to provide businesses with a new option. Signed yesterday, he mentioned at his briefing that counties and municipalities now have the authority to order non-essential businesses to close at 8 p.m. Simultaneously, new rules for bars and restaurants come into effect that limit hours of operation. The governor cited a study based on cell phone data that showed indoor venues accounted for roughly 80% of infections during the early stages of the first wave of the pandemic. Going into winter, it seems he wants to be on the safer side with the second wave. Yeah, we're seeing a few more restrictions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I gotta kind of want to chime in for a second. So
go for
how
it.
have y'all done outdoor dining? I'm assuming at this point most of us have tried outdoor dining.
Yeah.
Have you tried indoor dining yet?
Once.
I did. It
Yeah, I
was
think so.
weird.
Yeah. Okay. So these restrictions, I'm surprised that they did not come sooner, to be totally honest with you. I know he announced these in his, I believe, last like major update. Isn't it like yeah, places are closing at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
And then also I believe the previous one was the limited hours of operation. I want to say was they have to before that they have to close at 10. They have to close indoor or outdoor dining at 10 for bars and places. I believe that was his last update. One, I don't think 10 o'clock really matters. Like, I get the gist of it. I kind of get the idea. You know, the idea is to keep people from staying out late. You know, you have the whole bar culture and whatnot. If you're of age and you're like out, you know, having a good time with your friends at a bar, you could very easily blink and like 3 hours go by, whatever, and you're there till midnight or 11 o'clock. But so I guess that's kind of the reasoning behind closing them early. But most people, I want to say, go to places like for dinner, you know?
Yeah.
Which you're done by 10, unless you're, I don't know, like Italian and you have 6-hour dinners. But
thanks for calling us out.
Listen, don't worry about it. No, I don't know. I'm glad to see this. I do think though, we should be cracking, in my personal opinion, opinions reflected on the show reflect the opinions of the hosts and not that of the station. I do think it should be we should be tightening up a little bit more. Kind of want y'all's 2 cents on it though.
Yep, I completely agree. Though I do think this comes at a good time because, you know, respiratory problems like this, they're more significant in the winter.
Yeah. And yeah, it's getting colder.
Yeah.
It's getting colder and it's getting wetter outside. That sounds weird, but it is. Like, it's been raining for what, like 70 years now, it feels like.
Breathing is already hard in the fall.
Yeah.
Just like naturally. Like, I don't know about you guys. Every year I get terrible allergies and stuff.
Don't even get me started. Yeah.
So much. And that's like when a pandemic isn't happening. But like, I just feel like that just leaves everybody so susceptible.
Yeah. You feel like run down. You feel like tired or stuffed up or whatever. And then it's like humid out and raining for, you know, a week straight. So, and it's like you said, Kenny, too, it's getting cold. So it's especially with the huge spike in cases we have. So in case you were unaware, there was an election recently. And and one of the reasons we're having such a huge spike in cases is because of the election. You know, that's not a political opinion or you know, whatever I'm spouting on air. It's like it was proven that like during the election and the days after election day, there was a huge rise in cases due to large social gatherings and, you know, public places and polling places. We saw a lot of protests going on or a lot of celebrations, whatever it may be, which is why there was such a huge spike in cases, not just in Jersey, literally all over the country.
Especially in cities. There was
especially in cities,
streets and stuff.
Oh yeah, and
see the pictures.
Oh yeah, no, it's crazy. We reported about it. I want to say on Monday Buzz. We were showing pictures and a video of all the gatherings and craziness going on. So it's kind of insane. And also, and this goes out to everybody. I always like to say this. For those of you who don't live in the tri-state area, we in New Jersey literally live on top of each other. It is a very high dense population. Yeah. So it's not surprising that we've had a huge spike in cases. And gosh, I hate to say that, but you know, at the same time, I don't want things to shut down, but I understand why they are. Personally, I believe we should be cracking down just a little bit harder. But hey, I'm not the governor. And to everybody out there who's like screaming at Governor Murphy, listen, you know, you're not the governor either. And he's probably doing his best. You know, I'm no expert, but that's just my opinion on the subject.
I mean,
Probably.
given everything that's happened, he's under a lot of pressure to make decisions, and honestly, you can't make everyone happy. So you just have to do what you think is best. I mean, like, I give the guy some credit. He's thrown into a crisis as well as everyone else in the world. Like, we don't know what we're doing. We're just trying to figure it out as we go. I know some people are like so upset with him, but it's like,
yeah.
You know what were you saying, Trent?
No, I agree with you. I think that he's been doing a pretty decent job. Like, if like honestly, for like not a single human being, excuse me, in 2019 would have said, yeah, no, in 2020 there's going to be a worldwide pandemic that's going to like lock down the entire country for the whole summer. You know?
Yeah. They did a whole SNL skit on like how literally nobody would have seen this coming. It was people went to a fortune teller, and it's a hilarious skit. They were like, 2019 was a rough year, but 2020 it's gonna be a great year. So they go to this fortune teller and they're like, hey, tell us like what you see in the future, like about whatever. And the fortune teller's like, and half the stuff I can't say on air. It's a hilarious skit. But the fortune teller was like, you will be fighting. You will get into a huge fight in public. And the woman's like, oh my God, I never fight. And she's like, you will be fighting for 2-ply or something. It's hilarious. It's a hilarious skit. But it really, in all seriousness though, like it really shows like really nobody would have seen this coming. If you told me like a year and a half ago, hey, in about a year and a half, you're going to have to wear like a mask and gloves everywhere and you're never going to leave your house, I'd be like, well, I believe you about the never leaving your house thing, but the mask and gloves is a little,
a little far-fetched.
It's a little far-fetched, exactly.
If you told me I was being kicked out of my dorm, like at the end of my freshman year, I would have been like, what do you mean?
I'd have been like, what'd I do?
Yeah, like what did I do? Like what could I have possibly done? And it was nothing I did. It was just Corona.
Yeah, exactly. Couple more facts here. So on Thursday, yesterday, oh boy, Jersey did report 3,517 more COVID-19 cases and 18 additional deaths. I just want to say really quickly, huge like thoughts and prayers and, go out to all the families suffering from Corona right now, especially in Jersey, where like we're seeing this huge spike in cases, but not just Jersey, everywhere. Including casinos, though, this part ticks me off. Gaming can continue 24/7. I understand casinos have been having. Yeah, that was my reaction.
Sorry.
No,
bars
it's true.
Are open. Or no, yeah. Bars are closing, but you can still gamble.
Yeah, exactly. I understand that casinos, are having all these kinds of safety precautions, but I saw this coming. And it blows my mind that gaming in casinos is still open. Whatever, it's a huge industry. I get it. I'm not gonna get into it. Restaurants can place tables closer together than 6 feet now, but only if they're separated by barriers.
But do barriers do anything? Like honestly,
yes and no. It depends on the barrier. It depends on the kind. Depends on how big it is. People seem to forget that this is an airborne virus. But moving on. And outdoor dining and takeout is not going to be affected by this. But it does seem I'm kind of seeing a trend here. I think as we go into winter, we're going to start seeing probably I'm going to say we're going to regress to like give me like a late summer of where we were, where outdoor dining was kind of a thing, mostly takeout and things like that, restricted access to a lot of places. I have a feeling that's where we're headed.
We're totally for another lockdown.
Yeah.
And with it getting colder, people are less likely to leave their house anyway.
Yeah, and one thing a lot of people were worried about, especially for restaurants, is with it getting colder. Like, listen, say you're down in, I don't know, Florida, and Florida's, I think, still getting hit pretty hard. Although I think Disney just increased their capacity. Don't even get me started on that. But, say you're down in Florida and it's the winter, it might be like 65 degrees out. Now, I've lived in Florida before, and I know like people are like, oh, 65, chilly, let me wear a jacket. And here in New Jersey, we're like 65, cool, let's go swimming. But, in Jersey in the winter, not even just in Jersey, like especially in the north and the northeast, in the winter, it gets like really cold. and snow and everything. So outdoor dining is just not feasible. And studies have come out saying a lot of these tents, like outdoor, dining tents with walls, they essentially have the same idea as indoor dining, or the same effect, which is, don't quote me on that. I'm not, but
Oh no, it's true. We reported on it a few weeks ago.
I thought we did.
It's the
Yeah, 'cause
lack of
there's walls.
circulation.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's a tent or a physical wall that's been built. If there's no air circulation, there's no difference. I think people were outdoor dining in tents to make themselves feel better, but like it was
Yeah.
literally the same thing.
And exactly, it's the same exact thing. So I don't know. We could go on and on and on and on and on about this. But this is your little update, I guess. So don't be a little PSA for the world, especially for our New Jersey listeners. Don't be surprised if we go into another lockdown. Got a good feeling it's gonna happen. I might bet money on it. Real quick, State Health Commissioner Judy Persicilli, I probably butchered that, said that contact tracing was literally able to show that 33% of the 51 identified outbreaks in New Jersey were tied to sports teams too. Big yikes. 11% to government workplaces, 10% to public safety workspaces, and 10% to daycare facilities. Yeah, that's also a huge thing. Sorry, Trent. I know you like your sports, but this also
that hurts to hear.
This also goes out to, like all of the high school students and middle school students doing sports practices. I live close to my high school. I'll go for walks or drives around my town, and I see them, doing their thing, doing sports. Nobody's wearing a mask, and they're all over each other. I mean, it's
I'm a little worried.
because you know what? Their excuse is that's sports. I hate to say it. I'm gonna get angry tweeted at Ryan the Trick. Hopefully today's the day I get angry tweeted about it. But that's
single time.
every time. Gotta plug it. Gotta plug the socials. Also, 6% to weddings, 6% to parties and gatherings, and only 2% are either linked to hotels or casinos. So thank you, Fred Sly. Maybe I was wrong about the casinos thing. I still don't think it's a good idea, but hey, math has proven me wrong.
That surprised me with everybody touching the same things.
Oh, they sanitize the heck out of everything. I've seen videos. Look, just because I don't like it doesn't mean that it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
But I have seen they have like crazy air sanitizing guns, and like they wipe down all the machines. And what's up?
You hitting up the casinos a lot,
I
right?
want one.
No, I am no.
I'm messing with you.
I don't have enough money is the problem. I am in college, so yeah. I am legally obligated to be in debt as a college student. So I don't have enough money to go to the casino.
It's a contract you sign.
Yeah, exactly. It's part of your tuition bill. We're gonna move on. New Jersey is gonna be the first number one of the first, or not one, number one, but it's gonna be one of the first states to get new rapid COVID-19 test with 99% accuracy. Leslie, tell me about it.
Yeah, so as we're talking about COVID, and we've got more New Jersey news for you, Governor Phil Murphy announced yesterday that New Jersey is set to receive a new quick result system for the coronavirus, or to test the coronavirus. The Federal Department of Health has chosen the Garden State as one of the first five or six states in the U.S. to receive a new rapid molecular test developed by CUE Health. The test has shown to produce results with 99% accuracy in about 20 minutes. It's a molecular test that uses a nasal swab. According to Health Commissioner Judith Parascelli, the test has a very low rate of producing false positive results. New Jersey's health department is currently developing a distribution plan to deploy the test to the state's most vulnerable communities, including long-term care facilities, veterans' homes, as soon as the states receive them. So, wow.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
Today.
I am so excited for this.
I think it's really cool.
This story, like when you told me that we had this story on the script, it literally became the highlight of my day. One huge thing, and we've even been dealing with it here at Montclair. There have been an uptick in cases on campus. Not afraid to say that on air. Whatever, be mad at me. Somebody who works at Montclair.
If it's facts, like
it's facts and it's public record. There are people who are, they're on campus events, and there is an outbreak at one of them. And one huge thing that I've been noticing is, you have to quarantine until you get your test results. And even then you still have to quarantine afterwards. But a huge thing that stresses people out is you go get a test and it's like, you got to wait 3 days or something. You got to wait a couple days.
Wait about 3 days. There are some tests that I've heard where you can get the result back in an hour, but it's not super accurate. It's it might say you're negative, but I don't know how accurate is that.
Yeah.
And then there's one that I took where it's you have to wait 3 days for the results, and it can kind of not tie up your life, not I was really going anywhere, but I wasn't sure if I'd have to call out of work if I didn't have my result yet, because I didn't want to go in if I didn't know, because
exactly.
I was sick for a week, and I don't know, I wasn't sure. I mean, I didn't have it, thankfully, but yeah, it's just, this is pretty awesome. You can get it in 20 minutes. It'll help us start to almost not live life again, because it is still dangerous, but it'll definitely help us
it'll definitely speed up the process, I think.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
It'll probably free up a lot of testing sites too. I would not be surprised if a lot of testing sites were just, tied up with just the sheer amount of, tests they have to process. Now now that they can process tests, at least here in New Jersey, in 20 minutes, that's awesome. You still kind of have to swab your brain for it, but I mean, well, that's what I've heard it's like. It's I heard, yeah.
It's so gross.
Whatever.
It's
but I'm easily grossed out, so
yeah.
It's pretty weird. If you've ever been to an ENT and they've done tests on your nose and such, it feels like that. Honestly, I mentioned earlier, I get pretty bad allergies in the fall, so I spent a significant amount of time in an ENT office. The test was a lot like that, and I wasn't worried about the test. I hear everybody complain about the test. Not that bad. To prevent you from spreading a deadly virus, it's not.
That's true. Swabbing your brain is not that bad to stop the spread, but
you say swabbing the brain.
Swabbing your brain, yeah.
I'm sure someone actually caught swabbing someone's brain, and I just start laughing.
No, they I'm not gonna get into the gross details. Probably shouldn't, but if you know what I mean, you know what I mean.
I wonder what the other states are.
Yeah, what are the other states? Do we know?
Are
they as cool as New Jersey?
It was an article from NJ.com, so it just mentioned the Garden State. And we were probably chosen because we have such a dense population and high risk.
Oh,
so I think it's pretty cool. We were chosen out of 5 states in the US. Honestly, go us. I mean, not go us because of our cases are so bad that we were chosen, but still go us. This is still pretty cool.
You know what I mean.
We celebrate when there's grounds for celebration.
New Jersey had something good.
Yeah, it's true. I thought this was funny. This is a little off topic. About a week ago, I was watching the news, and New Jersey, we're we a lot of New Jersey people, we have Jersey pride. I felt so much Jersey pride when I looked at the news and saw there was a survey of most hated states in America, and we were number 1. Let's go.
Saw that.
And honestly, I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised either. I would be surprised if somebody was above us.
That too. And I honestly think the only reason people still hate us is because of the show Jersey Shore.
Well, right? Also, nobody else can drive, and they're just jealous that we can actually drive.
Yeah, I think
that's true. That's true. I think that honestly, people dig on us for driving. I think that we're way better drivers than most of the country, which is why when they come here, how many more accidents should there be?
Probably.
Probably so many.
Probably so many.
There isn't, because we're good enough drivers to avoid it.
Exactly.
Have you ever driven in the South?
Oh yeah, I used to live in the South.
I drove in Georgia once, and it was awesome. Just space everywhere. It was nothing.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
It's open. So much less traffic.
You actually move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You actually go
and you don't honk at people, by the way. If you're in New Jersey or New York and you ever go down south, don't honk at people. Like, very rarely do you hear people honking like in down
And
south. It's like
why-
super rude. Here, that's how we like communicate.
Yeah, we're like, yo, chill out.
Yeah.
Oh my
Fun
god.
fact, my first car, the horn did not work, which is very ironic because my last name is Horn.
Did you just scream out the window?
No, I just didn't have a horn.
Yeah, there you
You
go.
I
told
just-
people that they were about to hit you.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing
Yeah.
happened.
There you
Car
go.
eventually got sold to a guy who was going to use it in Demolition Derby. So,
That's wicked. I
yep,
love that.
most deserving ending.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, very, very long and complicated loop going back to go New Jersey, I guess, for being one of the first states to get new rapid COVID tests. Hopefully, these are tested out, and the testing of the new tests, yeah, that makes sense. Goes well and goes quickly enough so that we can actually get these out to most of the country. I don't know the math or business or whatever behind it, but I just got my fingers crossed for that. Anyways, we are going to take a short break here on the Morning Buzz. As always, well, not as always, but at the moment, I am Ryan Trick, joined by my co-host
Leslie Gallagher and our newscaster
Kenny Horn.
and our sportscaster. Is that what it's called?
Freeman.
Yeah, there you go. And we will be right back. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be talking about Greta Thunberg when we get back.
How dare you?
How dare you? We are back here on the Morning Buzz. In case you just woke up or just tuned in, this is 90.3 WMSC, Upper Montclair, New Jersey. I'm your host, Ryan Trick, joined today by my wonderful co-host.
Leslie Gallagher.
And in our virtual studio, we have newscast extraordinaire.
Kenny Horn.
So, I can't. This next story, I would like to apologize in advance for any jokes I may make.
You've already made two this
I've
morning.
already made
So-
two.
Yeah, your
This apology isn't in advance. It's
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's true.
late.
I'm working on it. So
I'm not
I believe
mad.
it
I'm
was
just disappointed.
whatever. It was about 2 years ago, I believe. 2 years ago, I walked into one of my classes and we spent about 45 minutes of the class talking about Greta Thunberg's climate crusade. The wonderfully over the top speech where she goes, "How dare you? I should be in school," and goes on all that stuff. But again, I would just like to say this though. Props to Greta Thunberg for being able to like go up in front of like world leaders and give a speech as well as she did. As crazy as it was, she did give a speech extremely well for the fact that she was 15 at the time. So Greta Thunberg, now 17,
Cool.
yeah, she did really well. Is coming out with a documentary about her activism titled "I Am Greta." After protesting and spreading awareness for years, she is making sure her voice is heard once again. She began her activist fight at 15, and when she started a protest at her own school, emphasizing the need for a plan for climate change. Over the years, many politicians have discredited her due to her age, but despite this, Greta is nowhere close to backing down. The documentary tells the story of her life the past few years and all that she has done for the fight for climate change action. If you're interested in watching, I Am Greta premieres today on Hulu.
Oh.
Today, Friday the 13th.
Ah,
Friday the 13th in 2020. That's, whatever. That's a
It's
thing.
lucky number 13, guys. Come on. It's all that mindset.
Yeah, there you go. Lucky 13.
Lucky.
Again, and the reason we talked so much about this in my class 2 years ago, I remember, is a couple reasons. One, it was we were talking about public speaking in the class and how media addresses people who might not be the best at public speaking, or who might be very, we'll say, unique at public speaking. Current, soon-to-be former President Donald Trump was also a part of the conversation because he is, I would say, very well known for how he communicates both digitally and in his speeches. And it's like he has a very unique way of speaking. as does Greta Thunberg. Not to equate the two, but you get the gist when it comes to communication. So at the time, she was very. I don't know if we can pull part of the clip.
In a minute.
Yeah. So we'll pull the clip up. So in case you don't know the video, please pull my favorite part of the clip. If you can. So Kenny's already laughing. I've been quoting this video for a long time now, for about 2 years, I'd say. But again, it's we were talking about it so much because it really is, no matter how much you can laugh at it, it really is incredible to see a 15-year-old girl. Like, look, I make fun of a lot of things, this included, but it blows my mind. At 15, I wouldn't be able to stand up in front of this many people or organize protests or anything. For those of you who are watching on Facebook or on YouTube after the fact, we got the clip for you right here. For those of you radio listeners, you can hear it as well. Go ahead.
Young people for hope. How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words, and yet I'm one of the lucky ones. People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth.
Fast forward to like 2 years later, boy, would she be surprised now. Well, she probably is surprised now. That I just now realized that clip doesn't age very well in the time of 2020. But
it does not.
Yeah, but anyways, I mean, no, it's again, like, all jokes aside, I think it's incredible. 17 years old, she's got a whole documentary on Hulu about her.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like we're joking about like the whole meme and stuff, but honestly, like the reason we're joking is because deep down we're like, wow, what was I doing at 15? Not that.
Yeah, I don't know what I was doing at 15. It was definitely nothing.
Definitely nothing important.
I feel like her age helps her stand up to these people because, like, I know that. Well, I just feel like in general, like, this is a blanket statement, but I feel like teenagers have an easier time disrespecting authority.
Oh, for sure.
It's kind of expected.
And not like worrying about consequences. So I feel like it's, and like, for her to just call out the world leaders for neglecting this problem forever is like, I feel like it's probably easier for her because she's like, no, like, they should be called out. Like why hasn't anybody done this earlier? Like, it's awesome. I think it's dope.
Yeah, and again, we tease about it because she gets so fired up and passionate about the topic. It's awesome to see people get passionate about this. So the film apparently also addresses her Asperger's syndrome condition. I didn't even know that, and how it affects her life, relationships, and campaigning. Okay, so even, again, not just being 15 and being able to organize these protests and go up and, basically smack talk world leaders on how they need to fix the world, which, is true. The fact that she does that with Asperger's, she was already one of my favorite people to exist in the past couple of years for several reasons. This is now even more up there. That's incredible. This is definitely something I'm going to watch, I think.
Yeah, I think I'm going to watch it just because, from like the clips and everything I've seen, like it seems interesting. And for one documentary to kind of put it all together and see like how she got started, like how she got so passionate involved in this and speaking to like world leaders. Like I kind of want to see how that all unfolded. It seems so interesting.
It's amazing considering how Asperger's syndrome, typically it's difficult speech. It's difficult to talk to people, make connections. And the fact that she's not only, at 15 years old talking to world leaders, she's doing so with something that typically is very hard with someone for Asperger's.
Make social situations harder.
Yeah.
Like social cues and stuff. Honestly, though, that might contribute to the fact is how she is so bold, because she, our, social constructs, at least I think at least in America is like you know when you're a kid you don't like talk back to adults, like that's disrespectful. So she might just be like, well, screw that, like doing her own thing, and you know what, that's probably what makes her so cool and different.
Exactly. So again, if you are interested in watching, the doc is called I Am Greta, and it premieres today, Friday the 13th on Hulu. That's probably something that's going to be on my list of things to watch. I wonder what else is on my list of things to watch.
I wonder. There are so many things that are coming out in November.
So many things. That was a segue because the next thing we're talking about is what's streaming in November. We got Bombshell. I'm gonna butcher all these names. Deal with it. Charlize Theron, Nicole Kidman, and Margot Robbie star in the film, which offer fictionalized look at life at Fox News under the leadership of late Roger Ailes. Roger Ailes. That's on Amazon. Dolly Parton's Christmas on the Square. A rich and nasty woman returns to her small hometown after her father's death to evict everyone and sell the land to a mall developer right before Christmas. The holiday film features 14 original songs with music and lyrics by Dolly Parton. That's on Netflix. Some fun thing that I watched, I believe, last Christmas or the Christmas before. It's also on Netflix. It's called speaking of Christmas things, it's called Merry Happy Whatever. It's a fantastic little short rom-com series. If you don't celebrate Christmas, I mean, my girlfriend at the time showed it to me, and she was Jewish, so and she enjoyed the heck out of it. I mean, it's just overall a really funny series. It's more about family than the holiday. Merry Happy Whatever. I'd have to look it up.
Is that the one with Anna Kendrick, or am I thinking of something completely?
I think it might be. We'll get our fact checker on that real quick. Also, The Reagans, featuring never before seen material and interviews with the couple's most intimate family and friends. The doc explores the indelible marks the Reagans left on the nation and their impact in the conservative movement of today. That's on Showtime.
And next up, we got Inside Pixar, a documentary series of personal and cinematic stories that provide an inside look at the people, artistry, and culture of Pixar animation studios that'll be available on Disney Plus. That sounds so interesting to me. Next one, I think I'm supposed to say this word the French way, and I never studied French, so I'm gonna do my best. Reunions? I don't know.
Reunions.
Yeah, but they have it like the French way with the little accent mark. So I'm like, reunions. I don't know.
Reunions featuring a baguette over the E. I'm going to get slammed for that one.
Oh, the French people are going to come for you. Sorry.
Sacre bleu.
See, I don't even know what that means.
I don't know what it means either. I'll dump
it. In this heartwarming contemporary French drama, two brothers who learn about each other's existence after the death of their father inherit a hotel on the paradise island of Réunion. Since the hotel is on the verge of bankruptcy, the pair and their respective families make huge sacrifices and working together to turn things around. That will be available on Acorn TV. And then we've got Shawn Mendes in Wonder. Over the course of over the course of a world tour, this unguarded documentary show follows the singer and the heartthrob as he makes sense of his stardom, relationships, and musical future. That will be on Netflix. And the last one, this one sounds so cool, Becoming You, narrated by Academy Award-winning actress Olivia Colman. This series is told through the eyes of more than 100 children from around the world and explores how the first 2,000 days on Earth shape the rest of our lives. That'll be available on Apple TV Plus.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That may be wrong, but that is like 6 years.
Yeah,
2,000 days.
2,000 days.
6 years.
Roughly 6 years.
Roughly 6-ish years. I don't know. I don't math.
Yeah,
that's too many numbers. You get past like
might be 5.5. Because 300.
Yeah, it's roughly 6. It's roughly
350 is a year.
Man, yeah. I barely know how to count past 20, so I don't even know what you guys are talking about.
5.47945 years. So like 5.5 years.
So 5.5 years. By the way, Merry Happy Whatever. Thank you, Fred. Stars Dennis. I'm gonna butcher that. Dennis Quaid, Bridget Mendler. That's who it is. Bridget Mendler and Britt Morin.
Bridget Mendler.
Yeah. So that's a fun show. I'm definitely gonna rewatch that this
Out
holiday.
of curiosity, what is Acorn TV?
It's a new streaming service that whenever I pull up the articles for like what's streaming, there's always a few Acorn TV ones in there. I think they're like an up and coming streaming service that's like not many people know, but their stuff seems like interesting.
Acorn.
Acorn. Yeah, like a squirrel eats
Yeah.
an acorn.
Yeah.
Like the sky is falling.
All these streaming services, cable cutters. If you know what a cable cutter is, those are becoming super popular. If you don't know what a cable cutter is, here's a fun fact for the day. Cable cutters are people who stop their cable packages because there's so many streaming services. There you go.
That's a media term.
It is a media term. It's a new-ish media term that's been popping up since the existence of streaming services.
Mhm.
So if you're a cable cutter, that's what's streaming in November. What you can also probably stream coming up soon, it's not video, it's audio. AC/DC back and fighting off the black with a new album.
Oh, wow. So today, AC/DC will release their first album in 6 years. The album is titled Power Up and it's dedicated to Malcolm Young, who passed away in 2017. Longtime fans already know this, but just to give you some background, Malcolm Young founded the band in Australia in the 1970s with his little brother, Angus Young. Lead singer Brian Johnson recalls feeling Malcolm's presence, despite the band not being very spiritual. He said, quote, Malcolm was a very strong character in real life, and him passing away wasn't going to stop that. He was there everywhere, and I think you can tell it on the record, unquote.
Yeah, it's I love it. Most of the songs came from a fruitful writing period and a long gap between albums from 2000 to 2008, and Angus Young chose the ones that most evoked his big brother. Angus Young said, quote, I concentrated on the ones I knew were Mal's favorites. It's a fitting project for him. He always liked being simple and direct, so I felt what better than his music, unquote. All 12 tracks are co-written by Malcolm and Angus Young, selected by the younger Young from a trove of unused songs that piled up during the band's long life, which does implicate that there are even more songs, which I would not be surprised if in the future we saw another kind of like, I guess digging through the, crate-esque album again. I think it'd be awesome. We got Thomas here in the studio, in our little virtual Zoom studio. Thomas Nura. He is our entertainment contributor. Thomas, how you doing today?
I'm doing all right. How are you guys doing?
Doing pretty good. Good. What do you think?
I'm not I didn't grow up as a huge AC/DC fan. I'm sorry. I know Back in Black, like everyone knows Back in Black, but
yeah.
Hell's Bells. They play before every kickoff Giants game. Amazing song.
I mean, I probably have heard other songs that I will recognize once I hear them, but like off the top of my head. New band. It sounds like that. Stuff like that.
Yeah. Nah, AC/DC, legendary rock band. Surprised you never really listened. Well, maybe not surprised you never really listened to them.
Yeah, I grew up with Peruvian immigrant parents.
Oh, so, okay. That makes sense.
My dad was super into two bands in particular. He was into Queen, so I know like every Queen song.
Oh, there you go.
And he was super into the Bee Gees.
That's awesome.
Both of them, neither of them are AC/DC. Bee Gees is like the exact opposite of AC/DC.
Yeah.
but so that's just the kind of music I grew up with.
Hey man, fair enough. Well,
I'm excited though. Yeah.
You got our entertainment rundown for this wonderful Friday morning.
I got some stuff for this week. In movie release news, the comedy horror film Freaky comes out in theaters today, November 13th. This film comes from horror film production company Blumhouse Productions and is directed and co-written by Christopher Landon, best known for his work in the Happy Death Day film series and the Paranormal Activity franchise. The film stars Vince Vaughn in one of the lead roles, and also stars Catherine Newton, who most recently appeared in last year's Detective Pikachu. The film is about a serial killer who targets a high school student, but somehow the killer's magic dagger causes the both of them to swap bodies. The student, now in the killer's adult body, only has a day to reverse the swap and must avoid the police, while the killer, now in a teenage body, takes advantage of the swap to target other high school students. So that was just something interesting I saw in a trailer for the other day.
The trailers for that look ridiculous.
It looks hilarious.
Because
actually.
you have a middle-aged man now playing the personality of a teenage girl, and you have a teenage girl playing the personality of like a middle-aged serial killer. It looks hilarious.
Who doesn't love a good age swap? Like
exactly.
The recent Jumanji movies, Freaky Friday, it's great.
Oh yeah.
But now it's a horror one, so that's interesting.
Like a horror parody, yeah.
In television, the miniseries The Queen's Gambit released on Netflix on Friday, October 23rd. Taking place in the 1950s and 60s, this 7-episode series follows Beth Harmon, an orphan chess player who rises to fame as she wins more and more matches and tournaments, while simultaneously struggling with drug and alcohol dependency. The series stars Anya Taylor-Joy as Beth, best known for her roles in the movies Split, Emma, and The New Mutants. The series also features Bill Camp, whose extensive and impressive resume contains films like 12 Years a Slave, Vice, and Joker, and also stars Thomas Brody Sangster, best known for being the voice of Ferb in the animated series Phineas and Ferb. In music, this is something I'm most excited for. In music, Gorillaz have released their latest project, Song Machine Season 1 Strange Times, on Friday, October 23rd. This marks the 7th studio album from the British virtual band, which was created in 1998 by musician Damon Albarn and artist Jamie Hewlett. The album contains songs from the band's Song Machine web series, which consists of songs and music videos and highlighted by appearances from many guests. The standard version of the album contains 11 tracks with a total of 15 featured artists, while the deluxe edition contains an additional 6 tracks with 9 more featured artists. Some of the featured musicians include the likes of Beck, Schoolboy Q, St. Vincent, Elton John, Slow Tie, Earth Gang, Goldlink, JPEG Mafia, and Skepta. In Monclarian Entertainment this week, Kelvin Doyle reviewed the new Bryson Tiller album, Anniversary. Doyle, who described himself as a fan of Tiller, admits the album does not live up to the heights set by Tiller's previous work, but says the project is still worth the listen and may take a few listens to enjoy. Megan Lim reviewed the Netflix romantic comedy Holiday, starring Emma Roberts and Luke Bracey. Lim wrote about how predictable the film is, also criticizing its message of the necessity of having a partner in order to enjoy the holidays, and its justification of sexist stereotypes. And the Monclarian feature editor Casey Masterson wrote a tribute article to beloved Jeopardy host Alex Trebek, who passed away this past Sunday, November 8th, from pancreatic cancer. Trebek had hosted Jeopardy for 37 years, and Masterson recounts the significance Trebek and Jeopardy had on her life, including when the Monclarian team would watch Jeopardy together in our office every Wednesday night. Now, I don't know how you guys took the news of Alex Trebek passing, but I did not take it well at all. I grew up watching Jeopardy and I loved it so much. I don't know how you guys felt about it.
Yeah, we reported about it on here on the Buzz, and it was, I mean, even like when I read the article, I mean, like I didn't believe it, because he wasn't just such an icon in, you know, in the world of Jeopardy. I mean, in movies and TV and everything, if Jeopardy was on, like in any movie or TV, Alex Trebek would be there. You know, he was an icon everywhere. He was like in memes too. You know, he was all over the internet, all over the media world. And it's crazy to think like, man, he, you know, like he passed away. You know, it's one of those like, whoa, you know, you just couldn't believe it kind of things. I do remember one clip from Alex Trebek. So he died of cancer. But he was very open about the fact that he had cancer, and, you know, that he kept doing the show. He kept fighting it. And some guy, and gosh, I would love to, I don't have the clip up, but you could probably, if you look at, I don't know, if it's on YouTube somewhere, you could probably find it. If you look up like Alex Trebek, we love you, Alex, or whatever. Some guy voted, you know, at the end of Jeopardy, you bet money or whatever, and you can like double it, or it's like a double or nothing, right? So you bet how much, and you either double it or lose it. And the guy's answer, he bet all but $5 He bet $1,995, and he for his answer he just wrote "We love you, Alex," and obviously forfeiting the question and almost $2,000. And Alex Trebek, he said it in an interview. After he read it, it didn't hit him until he finished reading it, and you can see in the clip he gets like choked up on screen because he was such an inspiration to so many people. So it is a shame. I will definitely read the article. It is, you said, on the Montclarian?
Yes. On the
All
Montclair
right,
section.
fine. We'll promote the Montclarian, I guess. Thomas is a
Finally.
Montclarian guy.
Finally, I got you guys.
There you go. You
Only
can
took all
find
semester.
it in the entertainment section of the Montclarian. Awesome stuff. I'm definitely gonna go check it out. Before we wrap the show, real quick, super fast, what are you guys looking forward to this holiday season in entertainment? Go, Leslie. Boom. Putting you on the spot.
Movies. I don't know.
There you go. All right.
That was not a good
Leslie's a Hallmark girl. Kenny, go.
Fred Claus with Vince Vaughn.
There you go.
Very
Thomas?
underrated movie.
I would be
All done.
controversial. I love the Polar Express. A lot of people don't. But
That's
I love
not controversial.
Oh,
Everyone
you
loves
be-
the Polar Express.
Oh no, you'll be surprised. A lot of people
What?
don't like it.
Awesome. And Fred Sly, you're sitting in the background. Can you can type it up or you can pop on. Fred Sly is our entertainment contributor. Yeah, Fred. You're getting your voice heard, Fred.
Wow, you put me on the spot. I'm not a big holiday person, so I'll just say just watch The Mandalorian.
There you go. Baby Yoda for
wow.
Christmas. Nothing wrong with it.
Gotta do
Exactly.
your own thing sometimes. Good for you, Fred.
Sometimes you got to do your own thing. I will give my answer as soon as I state the top of the hour. You are, in fact, listening to 90.3 WMSC, Upper Montclair, New Jersey. In case you just woke up or just tuned in, you're too late. The show's over. This has been the Friday edition of the Morning Buzz. I've been
Take a
your
break
host,
there,
Ryan
Fred.
Trick.
With Leslie Gallagher and
Kenny Horn.
Thomas Nera.
And sitting in the background, we got Fred Sly and Trent Freeman left. He left us. Just kidding. He'll be back next week as well. Make sure you tune in to the Monday Buzz. Me and Amanda talking about news and such. Hopefully it's going to be an entertaining weekend. To give my answer, finally, what I'm most looking forward to this holiday season is every holiday season, I like to play one of my favorite Christmas albums, like on loop. I know it's turkey time. It's not holidays yet, but I got to play this song. I love punk music, so it's Punk Goes Christmas, the deluxe album.
Ryan, this will be the thing that makes you get angry tweeted.
Absolutely. And I am looking forward to it. So without further ado, hope you all had a good show and hope you all are going to have a good day. Don't let the Friday the 13th blues get you down.